This is Shoddy, the first game I made in my entry to the 2020 So Bad It's Good jam. Besides the horrible art style and the DIY kazoo sound effects, I'm actually quite proud of how this game turned out. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I got 5th place on the jam, you know? Anyway, I've always wanted to remake this game, and today, that's precisely what I'm about to do. And because I want this to be a little more interesting, I will also turn it into a mobile game. Yeah, I know, pretty original, right? Since the challenge always makes things more interesting, let's set the rules for this challenge. Number 1. There are no rules. Number 2. I have to make it in the shortest time possible because I don't want to be stuck on a break for too much time, so I'm thinking about spending no more than 72 non-consecutive hours. And in case you haven't played the original game, I'm aiming to make kind of a speed-running rage game or something. Shoddy is a game in which you control a spaceship that moves using the knockback of the gun. So let's make that first. It is just copying my previous code after all, right? Finally, after 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I'm still on time. Next, the game needs a basic enemy.
Bang bang bang, bang bang bang, bang bang bang.
Well, that just took me 3 hours. It's not that bad, I mean, I still have 67 hours left, so... yeah, I have the artistic abilities of a fucking Australopithecus, so I'm just gonna use simple shapes and a basic color palette for everything. And in case you're wondering, to create this palette, I just stole this red color from an assets photo and then used this generator. Aside from the basic enemy, the original Shoddy also had a humming enemy and a rail enemy. The humming enemy was cool, but the rail one was not that interesting, so I'm just gonna change it for this version. I'm thinking that maybe an enemy that pushes you, but doesn't kill you directly, doesn't sound that stupid, so I'm gonna go with that. For both enemies, I implemented an abstract class using the basic enemy and coded some other shit on top. And here's how they ended up. The humming enemy is still really good, and the new pushing one, well, is really annoying, so I think it's gonna fit the game really well. And because this wouldn't be a devlog if I don't say that I made some particles, well, I made some explosion particles, here you have. I also spent like 4 hours trying to make these blob obstacles, and they work, but I ended up not using them because they were really easy to bug and I couldn't figure out a nice way to use them, so that's 4 hours to the drain. Well, only 60 hours left. A game without power-ups is like an empanada without cheese. It makes sense, but it is not as tasty as it could be. So let's add some cheese to the game. That was a really lame joke. I coded a simple power-up manager script and added 4 power-ups to the game. A slow motion power-up, a shield power-up, a bigger bullets power-up, and a spread bullets power-up. And I also experimented a bit with different particle effects for the particles. Some of them were rather interesting, but at the end I decanted for a more simplistic look. Implementing menus is one of the things that I hate the most about making games, so I want to tackle it now while still have enough motivation. I spent 4 hours working on this menu. It's not the invention of water, but it's easily the best menu I designed so far. Technically speaking, this game is accurate, there should be no sound in space. But that's a bit boring, so I'm just gonna use this sound generator that I found on itch.io to create a couple of sounds. And let's spice things up a little bit more with post-processing and some trails for the bullets.
My God! Okay, it's happening! Everybody sit down!
To create the maps, I designed this simple tile map in Photoshop. Then I made this rotating sand clock omnitrix looking thing that you're supposed to destroy to finish the level. And to make things more exciting, I added a timer so that you can feel bad about your time. And also I implemented these checkpoints where you can restart the level if you have any lives left. Next, I made this shop where you can buy lives and power-ups for the levels using points that you gain from destroying enemies. The game of course will be 100% free, but I need money so I'm gonna put some ads here and there. Don't worry, you'll barely notice them. Now seriously, I know ads might be invasive and annoying, so what I did is that you have a small chance of watching an ad after you die or after you finish the level. And also you can watch an ad at any time to get more lives or points which you can spend on the shop. Talking about the shop, it's looking quite empty for now, but since I'm running out of time, I'll leave it like that and I'll upgrade it in the next version. I wanted to make the camera zoom in and out depending on some factors, so I stole code from somewhere and here it is if it helps anyone. At this point, you are probably thinking, hey Moles, shouldn't you have tested the game on your phone before doing all that? And you're right, I should have done that, but there's a really good reason why I didn't do it. I was too lazy to do it, so I'm gonna do it now. And here's the result. Aside from some serious optimization problems and the UI resolution being a mess, it works decently enough. The optimization problems are caused because I'm instantiating bullets every fucking second, which is a pretty intense process, so to fix this, I will have to implement a pooling system for spawning objects. But to do that, first I will need to rewrite pretty much all my code. You know, you normally think about these things before coding, but I didn't, so I'm paying the consequences. Surprisingly, rewriting all my code just took me a little more than 3 hours. So that's nice. 50 hours in, so I guess it's finally time to make some levels. I'm aiming to make 6 levels for now and then add more levels in newer versions. And because I'm trying to recreate my old game, I'm just gonna use some of the best ideas from the previous game and sketch a few new ones. Sadly, I can't show you too much of the level design because I want you to play the game, so sorry about that. 12 hours before the deadline and I had to do one of the hardest things I've ever done in game development. Composing music. I had never really tried to compose something before, but my music knowledge was not zero. I mean, I studied piano for 5 years when I was younger, so I decided to just go for it. And so, I wasted 2 hours trying to come up with a song in FL Studio. Obviously, I wasn't gonna get anywhere, so I studied music theory for about a week and a half. And after 2 weeks, this is the best I could do. In case you're wondering, to create this song, I just stole the chord progression from a Mega Man X song, and then added a lot of things on top of it to create this. Yep, that's how you make a song with 2 weeks of music theory. I think it's pretty decent for my first song, and it also fits the game pretty well, so I'm happy with it. With only 8 hours remaining, I still had to solve some minor issues like a frick ton of bugs, and add a couple things to the menu. I added this level selection panel, which looks pretty nice, and this About Me panel so that you can know more about me. And I also created this icon with the help of my girlfriend, which turned out pretty great. But finally, with 71 hours and 23 minutes, the first build of the game was finished. And I'm currently waiting for approval from Google as I'm writing the script, so if everything goes right, it should be on the Play Store by the time you finish watching this video. So here are a couple of takes of the game. Made it this far, thank you for watching the video. As for now, the game is available on the Play Store and I'm planning to add more features with some time. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, because I like to upload different kinds of programming videos. Thanks again. Bye.